Siri kept picking up everything I said. Okay, Mary.
Good evening. Welcome to What's New. Tonight we have Mike Devaney and
Jean Russo.
Jean Russo as our guest tonight, and we will let ours take over.
Okay, our guests are going to be talking about the Fourth Friday events and telling you all about the origin and whatever else they can think of. So, Mike and Jean, so whichever one you wants to start, talk.
You talk about the history because you started the St. Genevieve Fourth Friday Art Walk.
Yeah, and so what is the Fourth Friday Art Walk? Well, it's an art exhibit citywide in many art spaces that we have in town. Some are galleries, some are shops that have a space dedicated to artwork, and it's just a night where all of these spaces have agreed to stay open or be open from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. every fourth Friday.
Including two of our downtown wineries.
Yes, St. Genevieve Winery and Lucy Winery.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's always been a fun evening for the art community and art lovers, people that like to, walk around and shop for art or gifts for their loved ones for special occasions, Christmas and so forth. And there's various prices from $15, $20, $50 all the way up to $5,000 on some paintings, depending on the artist. But it's an art event, and this town has a rich history with artwork. Art going back to the art colony in the 1930s, the St. Genevieve Art Colony. So, and then the St. Genevieve Art Guild has been around since the 80s, and in some form maybe even before that. So there's it's a lot of artists per capita, I would say, in this little town of 3,000 people, and we have 15 in the area, 15 art spaces. And the Art Guild has, I don't know how many artists now.
About 50 members
50
in
members.
the Art Guild, yes.
So it's just been special. It started in 2008. There was an artist in town, and right up in this intersection here, there was a small gallery, Diane Wilson, and she had done a map of various spaces in town that were art related. So if people came to her shop, she could hand out this map and say, if you like this stuff, well, check out these places. And at the same time, some of us were going down to Cape Girardeau on the first Fridays of the month because they have an art they have an art event there that spreads out over across the town. It's not so much a walking venue until you get downtown, but some of the galleries were outside of downtown. But they were open too on the first Fridays. So we were going down there off and on, and all of a sudden the idea occurred with that map. Well, we have a number of spaces here. Why don't we do an art walk? Not on the first Friday, so what Friday could we do it on? And through talking of the original galleries at that time, Diane Wilson, Lulu, Sam Conlon, Judy Sexauer, Mike Hankins was involved, and several others. And we decided let's do it on the fourth Friday. So in 2008, in July, we had our first one. And so it's been going every month. At the beginning, it was every month. Rain, shine, winter, summer, every month for 3, 4, 5 years. And then it was changed a bit. And so a couple of the winter months, they decided not to do it, but pick it back up in February. And so it's been going ever since, and it's gone through a couple of changes of leadership since the beginning, and now it's being facilitated by a group of people who have been involved in art walks in the past, and artists and art enthusiasts, and this group is basically helping the art spaces market the art walk. And so it still occurs now on every fourth Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. And I think it goes through October or November this year, and then it'll close down and start back up in the early part of the year. So this month, it's on the fourth Friday, which is July 26th, and this would be the 11th birthday of the Art Walk. So 11 years. And so if you have 10 to 12 events a year times 11 years, that's a lot of events.
It's a lot of events. Yes.
But the art spaces do most of the work. They're the ones that put a new show up, have a guest artist in, do their own advertising, and then we try and coordinate some of that with an online presence. So we have a website that's available right now. It's small and simple, and we're in the process of building a larger web presence, and that's in the works. But right now, if you want up-to-date Art Walk information, and this can be updated to about an hour before the event actually starts on the fourth Friday, you can go to stgenartwalk.blogspot.com. It might appear on your screen. And it's just one blog post that gets updated every time we have an art walk.
And it's really useful to take a look, because one of the neat things about our art walk, I think, is that we talk about art spaces. We don't just talk about galleries, because you never know when a particular downtown business is going to find an artist that they want to feature for that month. And it may be the only art walk in which they participate this particular year, or it may be the start of their regular involvement. But it's really kind of exciting to see how the thing changes and grows and gets more interesting just every month. And the art does change. You know, I think one of the complaints that I've heard down in Cape Girardeau sometimes is that sometimes it's the same art month after month in some places. That's not true in St. Genevieve. You see new art, and in odd and unusual pop-up spaces almost year-round.
Yes, yes. We want to keep it as loosely organized as possible so that the freedom of creativity is shown on that night, so that if someone has an idea, they're encouraged to do that, to create that event or that special thing for that night. And there's really no rules. We just expect that the business have an art space or an art show of some kind to be on the map and included on that month's art walk.
So do you make a new map every month then?
Yes.
Or just list?
Yes, we do. We right now we're printing a new map every month that we're handing out prior to the art walk, and it's available in many of the spaces. We try and get them to all the spaces, and the Welcome Center, the Visitors Tourism Center, and that's one of the venues that's open every fourth Friday is the Welcome Center, because they have art colony paintings.
Yes.
And the Roscoe Misselhorn collection of graphite work that he did in the 50s and 60s, 70s maybe, of various historical places in town and buildings and architecture. So that's a great place to start your art walk.
But there's guests there every once in a while too.
Yeah, and they will have a guest artist.
Guest artist,
right.
yeah. And sometimes those guest artists, most often those guest artists are local artists, but during Art Walk, you'll also find spaces that have artists that come from out of town, from the St. Louis area or from Cape Girardeau or from someplace else.
Right.
So it's kind of an opportunity to see what's going on in some other communities as well. But our Art Walk, I think, is really a fun evening. It's a good place to meet new people. It's a good place to have really nice conversations. Most of the art spaces serve some kind of refreshments, so you can walk around and sample various kinds of things and see what's going on in terms of art in St. Genevieve.
And it's casual.
It's very casual.
And I wanted to illustrate that today. I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt. You're welcome to go on Artwalk very casually.
He's almost overdressed.
Yeah. Well,
And there's others that wear.
they wouldn't want me to
long
be
skirts
any
and the
less
whole bit,
dressed.
yeah.
So, so Artwalk is casual. It's
Yes.
not a stuffy experience. It's
No.
just enjoy yourself, get out, bring the kids. Last month, you had a special event with pets.
Yes, people were invited to bring their pets and to let their pet have a treat while they were looking at the art.
And it was a special theme for your
It
space?
happened to be a theme for the art for that.
And your
month.
space is called?
My space is called Eclectics, and it's on North Main next to Beatnik Cafe.
Uh-huh.
It's very small, and Art Walk is one of the most fun nights of the month for us there because we get to meet new people, we get to see old friends and visit, and it's a very enjoyable evening.
So do we want to talk about some of the spaces that you
Sure,
will see on Artwalk?
that's fine.
Merchant Street Gallery,
Yes.
that's on Merchant Street across from the Lance Drury Law Firm and next to the post office. And there's actually two galleries in that building, the Merchant Street Gallery, and next door they have one that's called the
Melange Gallery.
Well,
Gallery Melange.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And that's a larger space, and that, this month, you will see Craig Thomas in the Merchant Street Gallery, and Craig Thomas will be the featured artist at the Chalk Festival on Saturday.
Yes.
And we'll be talking a little bit more about that,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
this
Yes.
Fourth Friday will lead into Saturday's
Yes.
activities with the Chalk Festival. So, and then because it's chalk and dry media at the Gallery Melange next door to the Merchant Street Gallery, there's an exhibit called It's About Chalk, and it's an all-pastel show featuring Juanita Rapp-Wyman, Vicki Cummings, Peggy Bay, and Michelle Spencer.
All of whom happen to be members of the St. Genevieve Art Guild.
So that's two of the spaces. We talked about eclectics, and there is Reinhardt and Reinhardt's, which is at the corner of Market and 3rd Street. And the featured artists there are Leon Bosler. He's a local
Yes.
artist. and
Another
Rick-
one that started very young, like Charlie did.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Leon Bosler and Rick Bayers, who's an artist out of Festus area. So you'll see their work there, and then there's a Galleria St. Genevieve. They were open last month, and that's considered to be the oldest art gallery in town. Judy's been showing artwork and presenting various artists and mediums, from pottery to prints to any kind of artistic medium, and she also does framing for artists.
Wonderful framing.
At her, she has a great eye for that.
She does.
Yep. And then there's 109 North Main Street, and that features the artwork of Terry Cavens, and they're open early. They open at 5 for Artwalk and close at 8. So if you want to see her work, stop in before 8 o'clock. They will be closed for the September 4th Friday, and they were closed in June, but they'll be open this month. And then we're getting some involvement from the Bolduc properties. The Linden House has a hands-on history house, and in that venue, you're going to find information, artwork from often younger people. So I've given them your name, Iris, because I thought maybe with the plein air event, they might want to tie into that. So,
Oh.
and so But, and then at the other property, which is the
The Center for French Colonial
Life.
Life.
Center
yes.
for French Colonial Life, they had an exhibit of paintings and drawings and artwork last month from the newspaper collection, the Herald collection. And this month, I'm not sure what they're doing, but they will, as soon as we know, we'll put it on that website. And I'm reading right off of that. If you go to that website on your computer, you can read along with me. So Rustic Sandcastle Candles is a space on Merchant Street across from the winery in that area, and it features art on canvas, glass, and found treasure by Shelley Schmelze. And she's involved. The Matthew Ziegler Gallery is in that area. That's at 2nd and Merchant, 2nd and Merchant. And that features paintings by Matt Ziegler, an art colony founder, and other local notables from the past. And that's right behind the, we called it the Shaw House, but I think there's another name for that building.
I think they're still calling it the Shaw
Yeah.
House.
It's part of the state property there.
Yeah.
Yes, it's part of the state property. And the Ziegler works are part of a larger exhibit. In fact, there are 2 exhibits in that gallery. One has to do with pre-European people's art, back from the Mississippian period and the Woodland period, and then an exhibit of Matt Ziegler's work and a brief history of the art colony
So,
and his involvement
so
with
stop
that.
in there and see that if you haven't seen it. It's around a corner, so you have to look for it there at that corner.
I think a lot of people are familiar with the little courtyard
The court.
with the wrought iron gate that opens off of 2nd Street. That's the way you get in there.
Yep. And
Do the 3 Little Indians, did they ever get involved?
they were involved, but I haven't seen them open, and I haven't had communication.
Okay.
3 Indian
Girls.
3 Indian girls.
Yeah, that's at the corner of Market and 2nd Street.
Yeah.
Right.
On the other.
Yes.
Yeah, they have jewelry. I mean, one of the girl makes jewelry. and
Yes,
everything.
handmade jewelry.
Across from
Yeah.
the French.
Rust is at
District.
173 North Main, and they have local artisans that display their diverse creations, come in and enjoy rustic candle cans, artful crochet and hand-knit items, paintings, and one-of-a-kind painted boxes. So artistic expression can be on all sorts of media. I've seen some beautiful chairs that were painted
Yes.
in the past for, and one was on exhibit last month down at the Center for French Colonial Life by Dolly,
Dufour.
yes.
Dolly Dufour.
Sircam.
Yes.
Yeah. So
That was part of the Herald collection,
yes.
as I recall.
The St. Genevieve Winery, they have a wine tasting room, and in that room area is often you'll find the St. Genevieve Art Guild, but I think they're going to be moving to another location in the future, possibly.
Possibly, or perhaps just expanding and having 2 sites.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
for now, the Guild shows at St. Genevieve Winery,
Uh-huh.
and pretty much throughout the downstairs of the winery. Each month, there's 1 or 2 featured artists who have more than 1 or 2 works on display and who are usually there in order to talk about their work with whoever comes in. And then other Art Guild members also show in the space.
Yep.
And those people that are there right now are the new members of the Art Guild
Yes.
that have not had their work out anywhere yet.
And I just noticed I have a misspelling. St. Genevieve Winery is the full spelling of Sainte.
Yes.
So I better get that switched on. 'Cause there's another one in Texas, and we don't want to talk about
Right.
that. We talked about the Welcome Center and Sassafras Creek Originals. Now, most of the Art Walk venues are within a 3x3 block area of downtown. But Sassafras Creek is out St. Mary's Road, just a little bit past Seraphin Street. And it's on the right as you're going out of town. And they feature among many artisans, Lisa Palmer's paper filigree and her new line of framed work fashioned after historic Pennsylvania Dutch fracture work.
It's out of the way, but it is well worth
Yes.
the extra trip.
And I just noticed they have some other artwork that was just
Yeah.
brought in, so.
Very, very charming,
And-
relatively new venue in town.
Yes.
And the lady makes a lot of games and things that are,
Painted
primitive,
rugs.
yes.
Old style painted
right,
oil
things
cloths
from
and, yeah.
years gone by.
Yes, they're
Right.
beautiful. It's great. I went in to see if they had some old time Colonial men's clothes. She said, not at the moment.
You ask for it,
So I would have
you
bought
get
some,
it.
yeah. So, I don't have anything for our dress-up French Colonial days.
Maybe Mickey could help you. She's got a lot of stuff.
Lucy Winery is on Main Street, and that venue's been used before for art, and it's right across the street from the Insane Gem Beauvais. And Lucy Winery, they have 3 artists and could have other things going on, but they have Brenda Thompson, a potter, Keen Owl potter, and Suzanne Thompson. And so their work, and they change their theme every month and bring in new pieces. So, and you can also, at St. Genevieve Winery or at the Lucy Winery, they will be happy to show off their wines at the same time. So you can taste what they have in stock, and that's always fun.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have another artisan, ASL Pewter. And ASL Pewter, they moved here specifically because of the art community and the colonial nature of our town. And they do colonial pewter work and all sorts of fantastic things. You go in there and you can enjoy their...
Amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
They were winners of the Merit Award for Medal at Art in the Loop, April 2019 in Memphis.
They
Memphis,
also
Tennessee.
supplied props for some of public, National Public TV
Oh.
special shows having to do, I think one of them was a documentary on Madison, President Madison, and they are nationally known for their work, and they reside here in St. Genevieve, and they're on the Artwalk.
Right.
Yes,
And they
they-
also do Williamsburg.
Williamsburg, yes.
They have their products up there that
Yes.
they sell.
And they also have guests in there that,
Guest artists.
Yes.
And guest artisans. And they will be happy if you're an artist and you would like to show there on Artwalk. They have a space available, so.
where's that at?
That is ASL Pewter, and that's right on.
Across the
3rd,
street from the hotel.
Oh, across from the hotel.
The Southern,
Across the
Southern
street from the
Hotel.
Southern Hotel,
Yes.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It's around the
It's-
corner.
Yes, it's where the old brick is, and then, yeah, across from the Southern Hotel. That's the best place, the best way to say it. So, and then there's Modern Primitive on the other end of town on Washington Street, around the corner from Main. So it's just pretty much the next building past Main Street on Washington, across from the new Buddies
Yes.
Yes.
restaurant. And,
It's an old schoolhouse, isn't it?
Yes, it is, the old Lutheran school.
And Olive is the artist there, and she features watercolor frescoes and other artistic creations and
Modern primitive.
modern primitive.
Yes.
Yes. And then there's the Center for French Colonial Life, which we've talked about on Market Street. And I think right now that's a good number of places. And if you go to that website that you see on your screen, and you get down past that list, you'll see a walking map, and you can use that walking map to get description of the locations and where they're located exactly on a map. And if you even want directions from one to another, you can click on one, get the description, and then follow the little arrow, and it'll take you to Google Maps. And from your location, it'll tell you exactly how to get there and how long it'll take.
Some
And
of
can
the
you
other
give the-
merchants in town also stay open during Fourth Friday.
Right.
So the fact that a store may not have a featured artist or carry any art, some of them stay open in any case, and it's an opportunity for people to shop in the downtown
Yes.
area with an emphasis on art, but not necessarily limited to that.
Right.
They're open because there's people on the street,
Yes.
and they want to take advantage
Yes.
of that
Exactly.
and offer something, so we welcome that. They don't even have to let us know, just open your doors and
And could you
wave
give
people
that-
in, you know?
Could you give that website again, Mike?
So it's Saint Gen, STEGEN, Artwalk, .blogspot, BLOGSPOT, blogspot.com. And
What was that last one? BL,
BLOGSPOT,
okay.
blogspot.com. And that'll give you the most up-to-date information, so that the day of Artwalk, you can check on that, and everything will be updated, and an hour before, you can maybe even get more information, but we try and keep that updated up to the hour before. It's easy to
Oh,
do.
that's
and-
great.
I think this is going to be a good one. It's supposed to cool down just a little bit.
And no rain.
And no rain.
We've been unfortunate this year too. with
Yeah, the
rain
weather
on
hasn't been
Friday.
wonderful, but I think this one is going to be. And of course, we're hoping too that Saturday will be bright and clear,
The 27th.
the 27th, for the Chalk Festival, which is sponsored by the St. Genevieve Tourism, the Art Guild, 573 Magazine, and with help from some other entities in the community. And it's going to be a full day of things associated with the main event, which is the creation of a large chalk painting. Well, I'm not sure, I guess we'll call it a chalk painting.
A street painting.
A street painting by Craig Thomas, who's an artist from Cape Girardeau, but who has a national and international reputation as a chalk artist. He's done work all around this country, in Germany and in England and I think in Poland. And he's an amazing artist. A friend to a lot of us in this community because he's from the Cape Girardeau area. He's going to be working all day down in the area near Beatnik Cafe and the little city park on North Main. And in addition, there are going to be some other things going on. Some members of the Art Guild are going to be in front of Terry Caven's studio for that day, giving anybody who wants an opportunity to try using dry media like chalk or pastels, pencil. They're going to have some supplies and some advice for anyone who wants to just drop by and try that. There's going to be several exhibits that are related to dry media like chalk and pastels scattered around the town. And 573 Magazine, who's the primary inventor, I guess, of this event, they're going to be bringing in a bunch of interesting stuff. Storybook princesses, there's going to be a cakewalk, there's going to be music, a whole variety of things from 9 until 4 on Saturday. And except for the food trucks that are going to be in, we're being told that everything is free. So it's a great day for families, lots of
they
things for
blocking off
kids
the
to do. You know, I don't know, I haven't,
Because I would think he would paint the street.
I think, but I'm not certain.
I talked to Craig and last Artwalk, and he said that he was going to try to get several young people, children, interested in paint the sidewalks.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. We did
That's-
that a few years ago,
Yeah.
and they had a
Yes.
ball.
Yeah, that's part of the plan. There are also some artists from around the region. I understand that there are some students coming over from Mineral Area College and some other artists who are going to also be doing chalk art
Oh, how
along
cool.
with Craig, or at least that's what we've been told.
Uh-huh.
Now, the chalk walk was originally scheduled for the last Saturday in June, and there were serious predictions of severe weather for that weekend. It was canceled and is now rescheduled, so everybody needs to keep their fingers crossed that we don't get any severe weather or any bad weather at all
Yeah,
this
and the
coming
heat
weekend.
stays away.
Yes, and that the heat stays away. It's going to be a fun day, and it's free, and it's an opportunity to just see something that's kind of new and different. We had a chalk walk here a number of years ago, but it's been quite a while, and I think that the work that Craig does is extraordinary. It is absolutely amazing.
You can actually walk into it.
Yes, yes, creates the illusion of three-dimensional
I saw
art.
one recently where it was as if somebody was standing on top of a big beach ball.
Yes.
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 When
Yeah.
you took a picture of them, it looked like that's what they were doing, but they were just standing on the street. But the way the artwork was done, it gives you that illusion.
Yeah.
People who are
Oh,
Facebook
amazing.
people, the St. Genevieve Art Guild,
Community.
no, both
Oh.
the art community and the St. Genevieve Art Guild
Oh.
community page, my Facebook page, and several others have been showing some of Craig's work
Mhm.
and giving a little information about the art walk, so check
So
into
the Art
Facebook.
Guild has a Facebook page?
The Art Guild has a Facebook
I didn't know
page.
that.
It's a community group,
Okay.
yeah.
And the St. Genevieve Art Community, there's that Facebook group page. And you do your Facebook.
I do.
You do.
Oh,
You do
yes,
a great job.
Great
on it.
job, yeah.
And what, 2 months ago, you weren't doing it? You just, is this something
I think
new
I
for you?
started in March.
Yeah.
I think I
It's
started in
fantastic.
March.
Very informative, and I love your little captions at the bottom, and you're posting informative art, different, not only your own.
It was a struggle to decide to do it. But I'm having fun. And you
Yes.
know, it's interesting because it has introduced me, you know, we're talking about art that's happening within the next 2 weeks. The things that are going on 4th Friday and then the chalk walk, and it's mostly local. But Facebook is a wonderful place to explore art in this community, art in this region, art in this state, art in the world. And I think that anybody who has an interest can find wonderful things on Facebook. You will, however, also have to look at a lot of pictures of what people are eating for lunch.
You have to,
There is that.
you have to sort through stuff.
You have to sort through.
Pick and choose.
And sometimes those dishes are pretty artistic in and of themselves,
Yes.
but there's a lot of good stuff on Facebook for people who are interested in the arts.
If you do Google street art, there
Yes.
is some amazing stuff all over the world.
Yes.
That, I mean, it doesn't even look like, it looks like it's the real thing.
Yeah.
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 And
It was-
another neat thing they're doing is making the buildings
Yes.
look like cafes and everything else on the outside, like open air cafes and just all kind of amazing
The
things.
murals are fantastic.
Yeah,
I
the
think
murals,
one of the things
right.
that intrigues me most about the chalk art is that it's ephemeral.
Yes.
It's here today, and if there's a big rain, it's gone tomorrow.
Right.
And the dedication that it takes for someone like Craig
Uh-huh.
to create something that he knows is not going to last,
Yeah.
I think it's such an interesting idea. And I'm going to try and drop in and talk to him a little bit about that on the day he's doing it. The day
And he
of the-
puts a lot of work into one of these.
Oh,
He
yes.
plans it weeks ahead of time, creates a plan, and sometimes he creates a large pattern that he will draw out and then put holes in and create something on the street. Takes a lot of, and like you said, and then it could
Yes.
be gone the next day.
Yeah.
you
He's
know.
so interested. That day that I was there and he got to talking about children, he's really interested in getting the children
Yes.
interested.
He's a very interesting man. I got to know him through a little juried art cooperative down in Cape Girardeau. It's worth coming to the Chalk Festival just to meet Craig. So I strongly recommend that everybody drop by and see what he's doing and see if you get a chance to have a
And
few
he'll
words
talk
with
to you
him.
while he's working.
He will. He will.
Good sausage and cheese, too.
So that's Friday the 26th of July and Saturday for the Chalk
27th.
Festival on the 27th.
Yes,
So you out-of-towners can come stay all night and
absolutely.
enjoy both days.
Yes. Yeah. And there will be more surprises for August, we think.
Oh,
Oh,
really? You got
wow.
something big planned?
Okay, when are you coming back?
We'll plan on coming back sometime soon.
Okay.
Good.
That'll be great, yes.
Well,
So, I guess if you have nothing else
I think
that
that's
you
pretty
want to
much
put
it
out
for
there.
us, yeah.
We thank you both very much for coming on.
Thanks for the
We
invitation.
appreciate it.
It's always a
Appreciate that.
pleasure.
Good,
oh, thank
good, because sometimes we really struggle when we have everybody on and we can't think. Even Toby was sending me names. Toby, help me, we need somebody.
I did have a long
Yeah.
list, and I went through, but I've gone through them in about a year and a half, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, so then you start all over, but there's always something going on in a town that you can pull
Always,
people in.
Always, always.
And,
something.
and I think any of us from the Artwalk group would be happy to come in for 5 minutes or 10 and just tell what's going on that month.
Right, that's
Oh,
good.
please do.
Yeah.
We'd be happy to, so.
Yeah, you can just pop in too, you don't really
Yeah.
have to be, unless you want your name in the paper, which helps advertise. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a good,
But you could just come in and
Mhm. Okay.
if you want to come in that night, come in.
All right. Well,
So
thanks
thanks
for
for doing
inviting
this.
us.
you are welcome.
Oh,
And
you're
we were
always welcome.
Happy that you
Come back
came, for
again,
sure.
always.
Yeah. Okay, I guess, Charlie, we're gonna say goodbye to the people and,
Thank you for watching.
yeah,
What
thanks
time is it?
everybody for
What
watching and
time
thank you
is it?
guys for coming.
What time is it?
Don't matter.